Solar net metering is sometimes referred to as an incentive to do solar, but actually it's a market mechanism. It's a way of buying and selling solar. So if you have a solar, if you're a solar homeowner, it's a way to sell your power back to the power company whenever you have too much. And you might ask, when do I have too much solar power? Well, in the middle of the day when the sun is directly overhead, usually the solar panels make a lot more power than the home actually needs. And so unless you have a battery nearby to store those in, that power now flows directly to the power company through the meter. They keep track of how much it is and you get full credit for it. And then at nighttime when the solar panels aren't working, you buy the power back from the power company. So it's a little bit like a bank where you deposit money in the middle of the day and then make withdrawals at night. With solar net metering, you have a whole year to average out your debits and credits. So put it another way, you only pay your power bill once a year. At the end of one full year, if you produce the same amount of power as you use, your electric bill is close to zero. That was the way that it worked for a very long time, for the last 15 years. That's what made solar so successful, was because you didn't have to store the power. You basically stored it with the power company, got credit for it. And so as long as you produce as much as you use, you worked out fine. You zeroed out your bill. But so many people did it and it became so successful that the power company was winding up with their own problem of having too much power during the middle of the day and then not enough power between 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock when everybody came home and turned their lights and air conditioner on. And so their solution, they are putting in batteries to help store that power, but they took a different route. They decided to say, well, let's make the power between 4 and 9 o'clock more expensive and make the power in the middle of the day not as expensive, and maybe that'll cause people to use less power between 4 and 9. Well, right now, there is a little bit of a math problem. In the last year or so, there's a different way of calculating the value of the electricity that you're selling to the power company and buying it back. And it's not just a quantity of electricity per month, but it's what time did you sell it and what time did you use it, and that factors into the calculation. The easy solution is, when you're talking to your Stellar Solar rep, is to ask what rate would be best for me. Because what we've found is, at the moment, the rate differential is not quite that strong, and so just by adding a few extra panels to the size of your system, you can produce enough power in the middle of the day to offset whatever bill you might have. At some point that could change, and in that case batteries might actually become a really good investment as a way of storing the power until later when the price goes up. At the moment it isn't that much of a difference, and it's actually much less expensive to buy extra panels and not buy the battery. But the same basic process works, which is you will pay the bill at the end of the year, and the goal is to try to produce as much power, or as much as you need, to produce a cash value that's equal to what your power bill is. And that mechanism still works very well, and it gets around the problem of this intermittency, or having too much at some periods of the day and not enough at others.